Hello everybody, and welcome to this video lecture where we study the lecture notes Octave with Spice, also known as or a gentle introduction to GNU Octave towards linear programming. So I am Tommi Sottinen. Here is my email address in case you have some questions regarding these notes or this course. So these notes are for the course ORMS 1020 Operations Research. And these notes can also be found from this web address, so www.uvasa.fi /t note the missing n there, spicy or. So that's the directory where all this course material except the Moodle pages will be, and there Octave underscore with underscore spice.pdf. They are these notes. And so these notes should be finalized. So the date is August 30. That's basically yesterday or 2 days ago. But pay attention to this revised. So when there may be some changes that I note, maybe some typos or even some serious mistakes during these video lectures. So I will try to make a note that these notes are revised, but in any case you should every now and then, when you download the latest version from here of these notes, to check whether they have been updated or not. Okay, so this first video lecture is something that I should call what and why. So what is here in the notes, and maybe even more importantly, why. So let us start with the why. So I put my, sorry about that, I put my face a little smaller so we can see the notes better. Let's scroll back. So the part why, and this is explained here in the preface. So nobody reads the preface, of course, so that's why let's read together. So now, first time in your life probably you will read the preface of a book. So this is the why part. So what are these notes? So these notes are an introduction how to use GNU Octave, and these are for the 6-credit course ORMS 1020 Operations Research, and this is for the University of Vasa for the year, actually fall 2021. And so these are the first notes. So there will be actually 2 notes in the course. So these first notes, I expect that it will take 2 weeks to go through the material presented here, and the remaining 4 weeks will be then from the so-called companion notes that I call linear programming with Spice. So this is something like why, maybe. So this is so the operations research course is not as such a programming course, but a lot of programming will be involved. Well, some amount, and I think it is worthwhile to have this course split into some kind of gentle introduction to Octave programming, and then we go to the actual linear programming. So here the programming means different thing. In linear programming doesn't mean necessarily programming as a computer programming, but actually this is an old word for optimization. Okay, so that's more of the why part. So about the more of the what part. So there are 4 chapters. We will soon see what the chapters are in these notes. The first 3 chapters are what I hope will be a gentle introduction to Octave. And the 4th one is the Spice. So you might ask, why is this called Octave with Spice? What is the Spice? The Spice is, yes, actually linear programming, that is linear optimization. We look at that in the final 4th chapter. And the first 3 chapters I hope that this will give students with minimal experience of programming, I mean some experience I think is needed, but not much. And these first 3 chapters should give some necessary background, necessary understanding about how GNU Octave works, so that we can cope with the linear programming presented in chapter 4, where we just show how to solve a linear programming problem by using a so-called GLPK function, GNU Linear Programming Kit, inside the GNU Octave. So that's about why and a little bit of what. Let's end this short introductory lecture looking more on the what. So this is basically the contents. So what do we have here in the notes? So first, a very short chapter, getting GNU Octave. So how do you get it? Where do you get it from? How do you install it? And then how do you get some help if you run into problems in the GNU Octave? That's the first chapter. Second chapter is Octave as a calculator. So we there show how to do simple calculations. I mean, use it as an any calculator, and also discuss a little bit of variables. And then the second section in chapter 2 is about matrices and vectors. So there we will see the full power, so to say, of the GNU Octave. So Octave will be, or is a matrix-oriented application, means that it understands basically everything as a matrix, which is a funny worldview maybe, but it's very convenient for linear programming and operations research, for example, as we shall see later see. So this is basically the reason why I chose GNU Octave to be the tool that we use in the operations research course. Of course, I could have chosen many different tools also, but I think this is maybe the most convenient one. Okay, then chapter 3, working with M files. So why are they called M files? So these are just text files that contain either scripts. I mean, scripts, it's just a chain of commands that we ask Octave to do. And then there are function M files, which works slightly different than the script files. In the function M files, we actually can define our own functions, new functions for Octave to work with. Okay, so they're just text files, either command scripts or they define functions. The name M, I'm not completely sure where it comes from. My educated guess is that it comes from MATLAB. So in MATLAB they are called M files also. And so if you know what is MATLAB, then I can then good for you and good for you for this course, since Octave is basically a free open source alternative to MATLAB. So if you know how to work with MATLAB, then you will automatically more or less know how to work with Octave. If you don't know what is MATLAB, well, after these lectures you will implicitly know something about it. Alright, so these are the first 3 chapters, will be basically the topic of the first week, and the second week is then chapter 4, solving LPs with GLPK. So that is solving linear programs, that means linear optimization problems with GNU Linear Programming Kit. And what is there in chapter 4? So first we introduce a very classical linear program, so-called product mix problem, or also known as product selection problem. And then we do a little bit of modeling there. So that's the spicy chapter 4 is really already in the core content of operations, what would be a first course in operations research. And then finally we actually solve this product mix problem with GNU Octave and its function GLPK. Alright, So that was the introduction part, and in the next videos we will go through these notes chapter by chapter. See you in next videos. Bye bye.